405-883-0000.
Hi, this is John Lodge of the Moody Blues. Friends don't let friends drive drunk. Do you?
Nights in white satin.
KOKC, Oklahoma City.
The Tyler Media Station, entertaining you since 1965.
95.3 FM and 1520 AM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Allison Keyes. President Biden says he's not quitting his battle for re-election, even as concern mounts among top members of his party. CBS's Natalie Brand.
CBS News has learned House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries will hold a virtual call Sunday with top Democratic committee members. And Senate Intelligence Committee Chair Mark Warner has been speaking with his Democratic colleagues about finding ways to convince President Biden to let others seek the nomination.
Vice President Kamala Harris and California Governor Gavin Newsom's names are among those being discussed, even as Newsom hits the campaign trail in Pennsylvania.
If Donald Trump succeeds, God help us, we will roll back the last half century. It's America in reverse. They want to bring us back to a pre-1960s world.
The homeless and seniors are among those at risk as searing heat blankets the western part of the nation and is expected to last for days. CBS's Elise Preston.
In Portland, Oregon, where the city has declared a state of emergency, groups are handing out free fans and opening up cooling centers to those most vulnerable.
I don't do well with the heat with some of my health issues. It's good to be in a nice, friendly environment that's comfortable.
This as Texas residents get ready for the onslaught of Beryl, which is getting stronger. People are being warned to make sure they have supplies on hand and that they have tied down items that might blow away. Mike Brennan is at the National Hurricane Center.
We've also issued a tropical storm warning from the mouth of the Rio Grande up to south of Baffin Bay. So we are expecting tropical storm conditions within this region within the next 36 hours or so. Hurricane conditions are possible everywhere within that hurricane watch area.
More violence this holiday weekend in Chicago, where at least 11 are dead and 63 people are hurt in shootings since Wednesday. The victims range in age from 8 to 74. And overnight in Florence, Kentucky, police say 4 people were killed and 3 others were critically injured in a shooting at a home. The city is 12 miles south of Cincinnati.
The shooter, who is identified as Chase Garvey of Florence, who is also 20 years old. He's known to the partygoers.
The waters have also been dangerous this holiday weekend, as at least 4 people were attacked by sharks off South Padre Island in Texas. One woman was pulled from the water with part of her leg missing, while the same shark that attacked her lurked nearby. Officials say the 6-foot-long shark bit others on Thursday. State officials say the last shark attack in that area was 5 years ago. 2 were also bitten off of Florida. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
It's common knowledge that after age 30, our metabolism changes. We have less energy and gain weight easier. There's a way to feel better, not in years or months, but sometimes in just days.
I'm Chuck Norris. I tried everything. Working with a team of health experts, we came up with Morning Kick. Morning Kick is a revolutionary new formula that combines all my favorite supplements into one daily drink.
Morning Kick has probiotics to help you lose weight, prebiotics for digestion, superfoods for muscles and joints, and powerful anti-aging supplements. It'll help you feel youthful, energized, and helps manage stress.
I look and feel better than I have in years.
Go to roundhouseprovisions.com, use code SAVE, or text SAVE to 511-511 and claim 40% off. Roundhouseprovisions.com, code SAVE.
Every purchase comes with our 90-day money-back guarantee. You could be feeling these changes within just a couple of days.
Text SAVE to 511-511.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Tax fees may apply.
Some of you may be enjoying a refreshing popular adult beverage.
If you like pina coladas.
It seems many Americans do. The drink was first invented at Caribe Hilton in San Juan, Puerto Rico in 1954. It's made with rum, coconut cream, and pineapple juice. Hilton recently conducted a survey on the vacation drink of champions. It finds 82% of Americans say a pina colada reminds them of a specific vacation. 65% 40% would drink one any time of day, and 36% consider the drink a substitute for their daily fruit intake. Only on vacation, of course. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Bad news for the people who are still writing personal checks. The giant retailer Target says it will stop taking them as a form of payment as of July 15th. A spokesman says it's making the change due to extremely low volumes, but they still take cash and debit and credit cards. Allison Keys, CBS News.
Broadcasting live from the palatial studios of KOKC in Oklahoma City, it's McRoof Talks Insurance. I'm Rick Allen Lippert here with restoration specialist and Hall of Fame remodeler Scott McCollum.
Hey, good afternoon, sir.
Also here is the next generation of McRoof HAAG-certified roof inspector Scotty McCollum.
Hi, Rick.
Running man Eric Yandel is the wizard on the other side of the glass.
Hello, everybody.
He will answer your calls to 405-478-1520. We're live streaming the show on the McRoof Talks Insurance YouTube channel, and we're waving at you right now. You can also hear us anywhere in the U.S. of A. on iHeartRadio. Just search for KOKC. Act 1 of today's show will start as usual with our trivia question and other interesting tidbits, including the word of the week, which is a bumfuzzler to me. That number again to guess the trivia question or to just ask a question is 405-478-1520. Act 2 features Scotty's view from the rooftop. This week, Scotty recalls one of the most shocking causes of damage ever heard by a McRoof solution specialist who is still in disbelief.
I got to hear this one.
In an episode titled Utter Loss for Words. Coming back from breaks, we'll have some really obscure historical trivia, including a double dose of Beatles history today. Then in Act 3, we'll have our After the Storm tip brought to you by Roof RX, and wrap up with Dad's Wisdom brought to you by Energy Q.
There you go.
Now, the lawyer, hey, hang on. Before we get started, the lawyer says I have to tell you that S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.us, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 8000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Did you have a good holiday?
I did. Other than there was a lot of noise.
Yeah. Yes.
My neighborhood has a parade on July 4th morning.
Right. Well, that's fun.
And that was a lot of fun.
That's fun for the grandkids.
It is, and I'm one of those who believe that a parade needs to have watchers.
Yeah.
So my wife and I always take our folding chairs and we position ourselves near the beginning of the parade for two reasons. One, we can make a quick exit when the last one goes by. But more importantly, the kids who throw candy are really excited about throwing a lot of candy.
Yeah, there you go.
I take a bag and I scoop it up.
Yeah.
And then at Halloween, I give it back to them.
Wow. Wow. I've heard of a tightwad before, but
I think it's resourceful.
Resourceful, okay.
I think so, too.
Yeah, it's recycling and all that kind of stuff.
I am. I'm repurposing.
Repurposing.
And then the neighborhood had a fireworks display that night, and oh gosh, it sounded like they were right next door.
Well, ours were actually across the fence in the backyard, and Sadie was not too happy about that.
Oh gosh,
they had those big ones, those big explosions.
Oh
and
gosh,
Sadie was not a happy camper.
Sound like a mortar.
Yeah,
the ones that sound like a mortar, exactly.
I don't mind watching them from afar, but when I have to hear them like they're next door.
Speaking of mortars,
okay.
So Wanda and I went to see Horizons yesterday.
Okay. The Kevin Costner movie.
Yes, and it is epic, believe me. So we're sitting there, and during this Western, American frontier, all of a sudden I start hearing gunfire.
Oh.
And literally, I mean, I stopped watching the movie and I'm paying attention to, because I didn't know what was on the screen next to us that we might. I mean, it literally sounded like gunfire in the theater next door to us.
Oh my!
And it had that sound of a pistol. And I thought, yeah.
Should we be concerned?
Exactly. It was bizarre. It was, anyway, talking about mortars and gunfire and all that kind of stuff. Anyway.
Clearly, it was just the movie next door.
Clearly it was, but
Good.
next time I go in to sit down to a movie, I'm going to pay attention to what's on next to us.
Sure.
So that, because anyway, I was alert.
Let's get into the trivia question before we get to the word of the week.
And I tell you what, Scotty's digging deep for these things.
All right, Scotty.
Okay, today's question is, what is the significance or role of a desk adjuster in the modern claims process?
Desk adjuster. Let me see.
The role of a desk adjuster. Now, we're talking about a person,
adjust
right?
My desk up and down.
I guess somebody must know what a desk adjuster is. And it is a person.
This is a person.
He's assuming someone knows that it's
That's
a person.
Right. We should be clear. It is a person. It's a role of an official role within their
an
company.
Insurance company.
Within an insurance. So it's not someone who's adjusting the height of a movable desk.
No, these days I have to distinguish between those things. Yes.
Okay,
Thank
so
you for
we're
pointing out
trying to find what the significance or the role of a person who has the job of a desk adjuster in the modern claims process. And the winner, if you think you know, give us a call, 405-478-1520. And if you get it correctly, then you'll get 2 free tickets to Carpenter Square Theater.
Let me tell you something else. If you know what the role of that person is, you can probably get a job because the people who have that role don't know what their role is.
They don't know.
So,
and I will also say that we have a bonus quest, a bonus answer, and we'll take that as well.
Okay, I hadn't looked at it. I see that now. Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly
the role
right.
or the significance or the role of a desk adjuster in the modern insurance claims process.
Okay.
405-478-1520.
And they will win
2 free tickets to Carpenter Square Theater. The show runs tonight and then 2 more weekends, and then the season is over and we'll come back in September.
So 2 more weeks in July and nothing in August. So you're going to have to go pretty soon if you're going to go this year.
If you're going to use the pass that we'll give you for winning today, you got to use it in the next couple of weeks.
Very good. Very good.
But then after that, I'll be handing out coupons for the following season.
And the show's going great. The lifetime of
yeah,
a fact.
we have a huge, not huge. We have about a half full house tonight, which for us these days is pretty good.
Good.
And it's getting great response, and we're getting some good houses.
All right.
And I'll be there tonight tending bar.
Okay, tending bar.
Tending
Last time
bar.
you were there videoing or something.
I was.
I can't remember.
And I will be doing that next Sunday.
You're a man of many talents, aren't you?
Yeah, or faults. Okay, so Scotty, while we're waiting for someone to call 405-478-1520 and tell us what the role of a desk adjuster is in the modern claims process, why don't you tell us the word of the week?
That is, Rick, appurtenance.
Appurtenance.
Appurtenance, indeed. And this has many different meanings, which I learned last night from Oxford or Merriam-Webster dictionary. But a roof appurtenance specifically is a non-structural accessory component.
Non-structural?
That is just the plain language summation of that word. But I pulled I guess a very technical roofing definition off of the web as well.
Okay, let's hear it.
And this is a built-in non-structural portion of a roof system.
Non-structural.
Or an accessory item. Examples include...
Okay, I was going to ask for an example.
Examples include skylights, chimneys, rooftop HVAC equipment, and ventilation accessories.
Okay. Is a dormer considered?
No, a dormer would be structural.
A dormer in most cases is a structural feature.
Okay.
A dormer, a second-story wall, those would be structural elements.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a chimney, a rooftop HVAC system,
a skylight,
and
ventilation accessories.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure on the chimney part of it. I can see a lot of ways that the chimney would actually be a structural element. If you had a full masonry fireplace coming from the foundation all the way up through your roof, that is a structural element.
Yeah.
That's not an appurtenance. I think where they're coming from on that chimneys and things like that. You know, we have a lot of fireplaces that are not really fireplaces. They're metal fire boxes that essentially have a stove pipe going up through the roof.
Stovepipe.
Then that is not structural.
Yep.
That, in fact, would be.
I was going to ask about
it was late last night when I pulled this definition. I probably would have thought of that before now, but it makes complete sense.
I know, like my water heater has a pipe that comes up, a stove pipe. Basically,
a vent pipe.
A vent pipe, yeah, yeah. So that would be an appurtenance.
Water heaters, furnace vents, things like that, and that's what it said. The last part of his definition, grabbed all of those ventilation.
Okay,
so,
all right, and
in modern times, it also specified that solar configurations, in most cases, are not considered to be appurtenance items. Yep.
And why not?
I suspect that it was maybe stretching a little, making more of a broad statement than it should have, because there are many different types of solar configurations. One of those these days is gaining a lot of popularity is integrated solar,
which we're going to talk
so
more about.
Integrated solar is something that is integrated into the roofing system with the primary materials. It is essentially a primary roofing.
It's part of the roof.
It's a hybridized primary roofing material.
But what we've seen for the past several decades
is a rack and panel system,
Yes.
which that would, in my mind, certainly be an appurtenance.
And why is this word important to us today as the word of the week?
Well, it's important when we hash things out with insurance companies.
Aha!
And there might be damage to an appurtenant structure or an appurtenant item that does not constitute damage to the roof system, or there might be functional damage to the roof system that they try to argue as being appurtenant that is actually structural.
I see.
Okay.
So,
pretty technical to me, guys.
Yeah, wow. The things you learn on the radio.
Wow, pretty deep water.
Our trivia question again, what is the significance or the role of a desk adjuster? This is a person in the modern insurance claims process. And we'll take two different ranges of answers.
I'm really laughing. I'm really laughing at this when you reread it.
It's hard to get it wrong.
What is the significance? I've got an answer to that. So
anyway, if you think you know, 405-478-1520. So I don't want to get into anything heavy before the break, which we have to take in 2.5 minutes.
Okay.
So let me just let everybody know that the first Saturday of every month is National Play Outside Day.
Okay.
Today is also National Hand Roll Day, and I think they're talking about things like burritos and sushi rather than something else.
I thought they were talking about tumbling, like.
And then it's also National Hop a Park Day, the first Saturday in July. Hop a Park. And I just didn't take the time to look up all this stuff. But it's also, for those of you who choose to play, it's National Fried Chicken Day.
There you go. That's a good
something
one.
I can get behind.
Yeah, now that's a good one. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So.
All right. So coming up in August, next month, the first weekend of August, we will be at the home show at Fair Park.
That's correct, and we're going to have a nice booth with some integrated solar display.
I can't wait.
Certainteed Solstice shingles. We're going to have them there so you can see what it looks like, integrated into an asphalt shingle roof, and we're going to have something that's not attached to the roof, so you can feel it, touch it,
turn it over
all
on
that
the
kind of
backside.
thing. Turn it over, see
Oh,
what
nice.
it looks like, knock on it, give it the
All
old
right.
impact resistant test, whatever you want to do to it. So
Just don't put your lips on it. So, do you know where your booth is going to be
We
yet?
do not. She was the show manager was finalizing the layout this weekend. One of the things that she has to do is she has to, at the very end, after they've got everything sold, she's got to go back through and double check to make sure she doesn't have, for instance, a McRoof right next door to an Elliott Roofing, things like that,
Right.
and causes her to do a final rearrangement of things and then publicize the booth spaces. So we don't know exactly where it will be. It will be a large booth. We'll have a nice display and have our solutions team will be there manning the booth for the entire weekend, and our solar specialists will be there ready to talk to people about solar, and we will go from there. So,
And with that, we'll take our first break. We'll be back with Act 2 of McRoof Talks Insurance on KOKC. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's Scott McCollum, and he's Scotty McCollum. Our trivia question: what is the significance or role of a desk adjuster in the modern claims process? If you think you know, give us a call, 405-478-1520. We'll be right back.
This is the home of talk radio's new generation, KOKC.
I'm Scott McCollum, and I am McRoof. Don't let that big out-of-pocket expense on your roof claim stand between you and the new roof that you want and need. I'll finance your deductible, non-recoverable depreciation, or your upgrades over 12 to 24 months. No third-party financing, no hassle, in-house financing by McRoof. Call Carly today at 855-766-3405 for details. McRoof.us, where every replacement is a replacement done right. I'm Scott McCollum, and I am McRoof. If you're thinking about solar, the puzzle just got a whole lot simpler for you. CertainTeed and McRoof.us have teamed up to provide Oklahomans with the full package. McRoof can now install your new or replacement CertainTeed Integrity Roof System and CertainTeed Solstice Integrated Solar Shingles all at the same time. Your roof, one manufacturer, installed by one contractor. Don't have a CertainTeed shingle or don't need a new roof right now, but you'd like to install solar? Give us a call at 866-766-3405, and one of our solar specialists will schedule your consultation. The solar and the asphalt shingle industry's leading warranties, backed by CertainTeed's 120-plus years of industry leadership, and installed by the most highly credentialed roofing contractor in Oklahoma. If that sounds like a winning combination to you, call us today at 866-766-3405. McRoof.us, where every replacement is a replacement done right.
This is KOKC.
All right, we just had our July 4th holiday celebrating the birth of the U.S. of A. If you recall your history, the Declaration of Independence was presented on July 2nd, and then it took 2 days for everyone to get to Philadelphia to sign it. That's why it's July 4th. The next day, on July 5th, no, 2 days later, July 6th, on this day in history, 1776, the Pennsylvania Evening Gazette published the Declaration of Independence in the newspaper for the first time. 100 years later, 1886, a company called Horlicks of Wisconsin offered the first malted milk to the public.
Malted milk.
You remember? Did you ever have a malt when you were a kid?
Oh, absolutely.
You know, when we had the choice between a milkshake and a malt.
Right.
I like the milkshakes better, but the malted milk introduced this day in 1886. Then, on this date in 1957, a 16-year-old John Lennon met a 15-year-old Paul McCartney for the first time as John's group, the Quarrymen, were playing at a church in Liverpool.
And as they say, the rest is history.
And we're playing Twist and Shout because in the early days, the Beatles played a whole lot of cover tunes. It was, I mean, they were 15, 16 years old.
Sure.
It was a little while before they started writing
original
together.
music, right?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So our trivia question still out there and hanging in the ether. What is the significance or role of a desk adjuster in the modern claims process? If you think you know, give us a call, 405-478-1520. All right. What's next, gentlemen?
Not so sure.
Well, you know, Scotty, one of the things I was thinking about, we're talking about what the role of the desk adjuster is. You know, maybe without giving away the answer to that question, we can talk about what the role of that field adjuster is. What is that?
That would be difficult not to give away, but...
Well, no. So what are they actually, what is the field adjuster actually doing?
Well, the field adjuster comes out to a specific site to inspect supposed damage claimed by the insured.
So homeowner thinks he has hail damage.
Or any kind of damage.
Yeah, some kind of damage. Calls the insurance company.
I'm glad he said that.
And the insurance company sends out an adjuster.
Sure.
Okay.
Yep. That's exactly
That's the
right.
field adjuster.
That's what we call the field adjuster.
Okay.
And
they
times,
poke and grunt and write things down, right?
Well,
Yes,
hopefully they do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Exactly.
They're taking a lot of photographs and they're putting a lot of little funny marks on things, and they're walking around the entire property, not just the roof. And maybe going inside the home if there's any interior damage that the folks are suggesting is storm-related interior damage. They're going inside to measure and photograph all of that. And basically they are the collectors of all of the information.
Okay.
And one of the struggles that we have, and one of the things that creates so much work for and makes things very uncomfortable, are in those cases where that field adjuster does not do a very thorough job. Okay, give you an example. We had a roof probably 2 weeks ago that the field adjuster marked 3 of the 4 slopes of the roof and did not mark the 4th slope. And I can't remember exactly what the reason for that is. Scotty may know, but it may have been a high roof, may have been something that the adjuster didn't want to get on. I don't know exactly what that condition was, but with the understanding that slope was going to be paid for. Okay.
All right.
Well,
is that when we spell out what assume means?
Well, and so then we get the claim summary, and lo and behold, they've paid for 3 slopes of the roof, and there's no mention of that 4th slope. Okay. So now we have to go and we have to send our photographs and our documentation of the damage on that 4th slope and our estimate for inclusion of that into the claim summary now as a supplement, and get them to rework that claim to have included what they should have included in the first place. We'll have situations where the adjuster does not do a thorough job as respects things like garage doors or gutters, or what are some other examples, Scott?
Window screens, downspouts, personal property that might be on the outside of the property that is not. It's more of a personal nature.
Contents.
Say it's
right.
So your barbecue grill,
an AC unit,
your hot tub cover,
a generator,
things like that.
Things like that.
But what happens is that the degree of thoroughness of the field adjuster
or inspector, third-party inspector,
or third-party inspector, there you go, is going to determine what you're going to be getting paid by the insurance company. So, big part of our frustration is having to redo what should have been done the first time around. We have situations where Scotty or one of the other solution specialists has been on site with a field adjuster They've talked about everything that we see that either appears to have damage or will have to be removed and replaced in the process of our replacing what is damaged. Okay, so. And they've agreed to all those things, and then we get the claim summary in, and half of that stuff's not on there.
Oh,
okay.
How maddening!
So it's like, why? Well, Miss Wanda.
I don't know if we could even call it maddening.
Miss Wanda
anymore.
goes, why do we even? Yeah.
It's very normal.
But
oh my goodness!
But that's the frustration that goes into it, and so to the degree that we've got, and we have companies that have exceptional adjusters in the field. Okay,
that's good to hear.
That we know that when Scotty or I or one of the other members of the team, when we meet those folks in the field and we walk around and we talk about everything that's involved in not only everything that's damaged, but what's involved in replacing or repairing this damage, okay? Because sometimes that's other things that are not directly storm damaged. Then we know that we're going to end up with a claim summary that pretty fairly represents the things that we've talked about, okay? Unfortunately, that's not the majority of the folks that we meet in the field, okay?
Well, the other thing is there's a lot of different layers these days. There's becoming more and more layers introduced to the process from start to finish, and that's by design on part of most of the insurance carriers. The ones, especially the ones that are big names, have a lot of resources and a lot of financial resources. They will, add different pieces into the mix so that there's more hoops for a contractor or for an insured to jump through.
Just to make it harder to ultimately settle the claim.
To reach an accurate and fair. Yes, loss settlement. Yeah.
And what I call it is, and this is very accurate and it's very fair to everyone involved. I call it kicking the can down the road.
Right.
Okay. What happens is the initial claim is not as it should have been. Okay. And so then you have this process of writing a supplement and doing the documentation and moving everything along as we resubmit to the insurance company and start engaging with them to try to move this in the right direction. Well, what's happening during this period of time? Time is going by.
Exactly.
Okay. Day after day, week after week, and in some cases month after month is going by, where you're not getting to that point of having that ultimate settlement that represents indemnification of that insured. Okay. And it has become more and more difficult. We used to be able to get a claim summary in, write an initial supplement, provide all of our documentation for that, and generally speaking, in the majority of cases, be able to, within a week or two, have a new claim summary that fairly presented an offer for indemnification of that insured. Okay, it's not that way anymore. Now we send a supplement in, we get back a claim summary, and it has 2 or 3 of the supplement items, but left all the others. It's just like, did you even look at our supplement?
Right. Yeah.
Have you even looked at this document? Did you even look at the photograph?
I've been through that.
So then we have to do it again.
Yeah.
Okay. And so I just call it the game really is kick the can down the road, and the game really is determining whether or not they're up against someone who really knows how to do this, okay? Because what happens a lot of times, if they're dealing with an insured, if they're dealing directly with their insured, a lot of times that insured will assume that the insurance company has done right by them and freely accept what it is the insurance company is offering, not knowing that it is pennies on the dollar to what should have been offered.
Exactly.
Okay?
Or at the most, dimes on the dollar.
Dimes on the dollar. There you
At
go,
the
Scotty.
most.
That's a much better way to say say it. Dimes on the dollar.
Before we go up on Scotty's rooftop, I'd like to remind everybody the trivia question is still out there. What is the significance or role of a desk adjuster? We've been talking about field adjusters, but what about a desk adjuster? What is that role or significance in the modern claims process? So now up on the roof.
So I'll give you the tip. I'll give you the hint. So the field adjuster is that first step.
Sure.
Okay. Now the desk adjuster is going to get involved. What is he or she going to do?
And what is their significance?
Pretty good hint.
Today's view from the rooftop, utter loss for words. Scotty recalls one of the most shocking causes of damage ever heard by a McRoof solution specialist who is still in disbelief.
Well, I will clarify, it's a proposed cause of loss.
Okay. All right.
Proposed by an insurance adjuster.
Oh, all right.
And I think my wording to you in the note might have had proposed in it, but I want to be clear. It is a proposed cause of loss.
And this is very recent?
It's within the last couple of years.
Okay. All right. Let's hear about it.
Yes.
Recent enough.
Well, this gentleman, to fast forward to the happy ending of the story, and then we'll go back in time to show you how we got to that point. He did finally get his new roof last year.
Yay.
And it was bought by the same insurance company whose adjuster told me this, that back in 2021, after a significant hailstorm that damaged most of his neighbors' houses and roofs, to be specific, we went through one adjuster who did not want to get on the roof because he was who ended up getting on the roof and wasn't qualified to do so, it seemed. Nonetheless, he almost lost his footing on the roof, and it was a steep one, a windy day in the spring, and he came down off the roof, said, "Yeah, I think I got everything I need." We got the claim, denial. Not a thing that they were gonna pay for because it was all wear, tear, and deterioration on his roof and primary materials and components. Next, we finally, after some diligence and follow-up on our end, we got a second adjuster out there. Well, we thought. Same exact guy. So I didn't have high hopes for this appointment, but what he told me when we got off the roof together the second time was even more shocking, is that this isn't... He admitted he maybe wasn't paying as close attention as he should have the first time. He saw a lot of wear, tear, and deterioration, but then he also said that the rest was bird damage.
Bird damage.
Bird damage.
Bird.
You don't have hail, you got bird damage.
How big are these birds?
And how many of them were there?
Yeah, no kidding. Yes. Bird damage.
Bird damage.
Bird damage. So after that, the homeowner didn't want to pursue this claim any further. He's just said, how could we possibly reason with people that are saying bird damage? So he dropped it. He waited until I guess about a year and a half later. Then I kept in touch with him. Had a new hail event and got it paid for without any issue.
Oh my God!
So we replaced it with a Northgate Class 4 shingle. And I think even Energy Q, last year, finally, and it's doing great. No issues. Probably isn't ever going to have to do anything with his roof for the rest of his life.
So back to what I said. Kick the can down the road. In this case, kicked the can down the road a few years. We have one situation right now, and I'll give you this because it makes me sick to my stomach. We have one of our listeners has a roof, and we've been working on their behalf for, 6 months or so. Got a denial from insurance company A, okay, very large insurance company A, okay. Well, got a letter of non-renewal from big insurance company A on a claim on a roof that should absolutely have been paid for by big insurance company A. And in rides little insurance company XYZ, little insurance company, picks up the risk. Within 2 weeks has a new loss date, and little insurance company XYZ is paying to replace the roof that big insurance company A should have paid to replace. So you talk about the ultimate kick the can down the road. What are they hoping happens? That's exactly what they're hoping happens.
Yeah, sure.
They're hoping you go away.
Right.
So
well, lawyers play that game all the time. Government plays that game all the time. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
No, we don't want to do that.
What I will say is that on the positive side, you're having a booth at the home show in the Fair Park first weekend in August, 1 month from this weekend.
We are,
and
yes,
we're
sir.
going to broadcast live.
Yes, we are
from that.
Yes, we are, and I have invited, or Carly has invited, Trevor.
Good.
Trevor Thompson, our Certainty Territory Manager. I don't know if he'll be able to take us up on that. I don't know what Trevor's schedule is. I know he's traveling a lot, but we have invited Trevor in case he's available. Since we are rolling out the Certainty Solaris integrated solar roof, and we're also going to be highlighting our Solstice. I'm sorry, Solaris is the old
Solstice.
Yeah.
Okay,
Solstice, and then we're also going to be highlighting our Certainty lineup of impact-resistant shingles. So anyway,
and with that, we'll take our second and final break. We'll be back with Act 3 of McRoof Talks Insurance on KOKC. I'm Rick Allen Lippert. He's Scott McCollum. He's Scotty McCollum. Our trivia question still out there. What is the significance or role of a desk adjuster in the modern claims process?
Nobody seems to know.
405-478-1520. Give us a call.
Talk Radio's new generation, KOKC.
I'm Scott McCollum, and I am McRoof. McRoof and Certainteed are the team you need on your roof. Certainteed's impact-resistant lineup is unbeatable. Northgate Climate Flex, Presidential Shake, or the slate look of Belmont IR, or the King of Shingles, Grand Manor. Call Carly today at 855-766-3405 or go to McRoof.us. McRoof.us, where every replacement is a replacement done right.
Honoring America's Warriors is an Oklahoma-based 501c3 nonprofit that is committed to honoring our heroes and healing our warriors. Honoring America's Warriors provides teams of disabled combat veterans in service dress uniform to augment military honors for our brave that have served our country. Honoring America's Warriors also provides outdoor activities to get our returning veterans peer-to-peer with other veterans in a non-medical environment. To learn more or to donate, go to honoringamericaswarriors.org today.
And I am McRoof. If you don't have a trusted advisor when it comes to your residential or commercial property, you may not have met one of our solutions specialists. Our team is dedicated to crafting solutions for you and always have your best interests at heart as we counsel you through the repair or replacement process. We're not roofing salespeople whose goal is to sell you a roof. We are highly trained specialists in damage assessment and roof repair whose goal is to earn your trust, confidence, and to build lasting relationships. The pillars of our company are technical competence, quality, and unparalleled customer service. If those values resonate with you, give us a call today at 855-766-3405. Replacement done McRoof.us, where every replacement is a replacement done right.
This is the home of Talk Radio's new generation, KOKC.
And McRoof Talks Insurance back on the air for Act 3 of today's show. On this date in 1924, the first photo was sent experimentally across the Atlantic by radio from the U.S. to England. 1924, they electronically sent a photograph.
That's about 100 years ago.
About 100 years ago. 1928, 4 years later, the first all-talking motion picture was shown in New York. I don't know what the topic was or the actors, but it was titled The Lights of New York. And then on this date in 1964, the Beatles movie, A Hard Day's Night, premiered in London. Now, it was probably a few weeks or months later before I got to see it at the Madison Theater in Atlanta, Georgia, but I still have my ticket stub.
Cool.
And several years ago, my wife and I went to the Oklahoma City Museum of Art, to the movie theater there. They have a theater and they show movies, and we watched a digitally remastered version of that movie. So it was so clean and pristine, and it was so much fun. So much fun. Anyway, all right, our good friend Benny is on the line. Let's hear from you, Benny.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi, Benny.
Well, I'm trying to redeem my batting average a little bit.
All right, so let me hang on, but let me say this for the folks who may have just tuned in. We're looking for the significance or the role of a desk adjuster in the modern claims process. So what do you say, Benny?
That's the body sitting there behind the desk who's putting figures to the various elements of the claim that the field adjuster noted and submitted, and that determines the amount of the damage check or checks in the case of replacement coverage, recoverable depreciation, all those things that go into a homeowner's policy that covers all the bases. And
you're correct, Benny. Although that is just the that is always the hope that that's what a desk adjuster will do, but sometimes that's not what they actually do.
Well, that's their duty. It's not always
that's their duty, but they don't always fulfill that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyway, I've still got a set of tickets that haven't been used yet. So, if you have any friends that would like to come, donate them to them on my behalf.
Okay, will do. Thank you,
so
Benny.
much for calling, Benny.
I'm really glad you're going to cover the solar shingle at your home show next month, because I missed the program where you were covering it on the air because of family matters. So I'm glad to know you're going to do that.
We're looking forward to you getting to see it and feel it.
We'll get you some tickets for the home show too, Benny.
Hey, great! I'd take you up on that.
Sounds good.
All right, thank you, Benny.
Hey, by the way, for the next event involving fireworks, get Sadie a Thunder shirt. It helps. It's not a cure. It helps some.
Okay.
My folks have one for their dog for the same reason.
Yeah, we need to do that.
Thanks for the tip,
Benny.
Sure. Take care, guys.
Have a nice weekend.
All right, so Scotty, what was the bonus answer of what is the significance of a desk adjuster in modern claims process?
The bonus answer, Rick, is not very much.
That's the significance is not very much.
Indeed.
All right.
That's evidenced by our day-to-day
Exactly.
experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's we don't mean to beat up on people or make light of this either. It's a shame that everything is such an adversarial relationship. It's a shame that every contractor who deals with storm restoration gets treated like a bad guy,
right,
from the insurance side of things. Okay, there are companies like McRoof who are storm solutions specialists, who are credentialed, who have codes of ethics, who have a manner and a way of conducting their business that is conducive to the insurance company and the insured getting to that point of indemnification quickly and efficiently. And it does not have to be this adversarial relationship that we're talking about that exists with the vast majority of insurance carriers today. It does not have to be that they're right and the contractor is wrong. It needs to be people with open eyes, inspecting property, evaluating storm damage versus, we're looking for sudden and accidental damage that occurred at a point in time versus that wear, tear, gradual deterioration, or some of the deferred maintenance and things that exist on some of our clients' homes. That's not what insurance is for. Insurance is not a maintenance policy. Okay? Insurance is a policy to restore your property, restore your financial well-being based on a covered peril. Okay? That's what it is. And it's not rocket science. It's not hard. And for us to have gotten to this point where we have such inexperienced adjusters who either do not understand or do not want to do their job to fulfill their obligation to an insured, okay, and who do not want to work with a contractor like McRoof in good faith to work towards that indemnification, that's a travesty. And I've had many conversations with the insurance commissioner about this, the adversarial relationship, the way that we, a professional, licensed, registered, insured, credentialed contractor get treated by insurance companies like we're the biggest bunch of idiots that ever walked the face of the earth. And I got to tell you, they're not right. We are 99.9% of the time.
So when you say you're a storm solution specialist, that's actually a certification from CertainTeed.
That is a CertainTeed credential. And you may notice that they call it the solution specialist, and I was using that term from day one
for a long time.
What our sales team is. It's not a sales team; it's a solutions team working for solutions for our clients. And so, storm solution specialist. There's a code of ethics there.
Yeah,
it talks about the technical capabilities and competencies that a storm solution specialist must have in terms of the insurance process, how to do the inspections for that damage, how to properly price and scope the work that needs to be done to achieve indemnification for an insured. And then that contractor, because of other credentials, is able to install the integrity roof system from CertainTeed and offer the gold standard for warranties in the asphalt shingle roofing industry. So it ties a bow around everything from a storm solution specialist standpoint. So
how about that? And there you are.
Yeah.
All right, it's time
for
for
a segue into our before the storm and after the storm tips. Potentially?
Short answer is yes.
Without the sound
and if the
effect.
computer was
we are
what's going on with this computer today?
We are like having.
There it is.
I think
even caught Eric off guard.
I think one of those firecrackers must have blown something up.
We're having some major technical issues back here today.
I blame all that stuff on sunspots.
Yeah.
Sunspots?
Sunspots.
Yeah,
I mean, who's going to argue with me?
I don't know who could.
I'm not smart enough to argue with you.
Okay, so what's our after the storm tip today?
Well, it's maybe not as much an after the storm tip as it is a year-round tip.
Okay.
But in this case, it is an after the storm tip, just in certain geographies around Oklahoma City metro, and that is prior to listing a house for sale or business, a commercial property. We see a lot of people who do not get an inspection on their roof. And then once they've listed the house for sale for maybe it's already been listed for a month, 2 months, the market's still pretty hot, so most people don't wait that long before they find out the people who are interested in buying the house, they have terms, they accept the contract, they submit their TRR based on other professional evaluations that they've had conducted on that property. And the roof is one of those categories that a lot of people are aware can cause a big issue. Not only does it take up maybe 30 to 50% of your home's curb appeal, depending on the roof style and the pitch of the roof, the angles and whatnot, the size too. But it can also cause you some major issues if you have maybe just one or two things out of place. and you accept liability for something that is not in tip-top shape. And people get notified in their TRR that Treaty of Right to Repair. I just go by the acronym, Rick.
Yeah,
I'm not. This
check
isn't
these things out.
This isn't McRoof on real estate. This is McRoof on insurance.
Oh my gosh!
That the roof is in need of repair at the very least, or potentially replacement because of extensive storm damage.
Right.
Yeah.
And it seems to me, when we've talked about this before, that if I'm the homeowner and I have a contract on the house, but then upon the inspection, the potential buyer, puts it upon me to replace the roof. What's my incentive to put a quality roof on that house?
Well, and this is really where the problem comes in. This is where the rubber meets the road, because to me, the interests of the two parties are at odds.
Exactly.
Okay? The buyer wants the best roof that they can possibly get.
Of course.
And the seller wants the least expensive roof that they can possibly put on to meet the requirements of the buyer.
At odds with one another.
And so they're at odds with one another. So the way that I see that, and we've been in the middle of any number of these transactions over the years, the way it works is we go out and do the inspection, okay, and are engaged by the seller, okay, because they own the property. They're the ones that have legal right to enter into these agreements. And we go through the claims process, get the claim buttoned up, everything the way we want it. And then we sit down with the seller and explain to them, this is what your insurance company is paying for. Now, we're going to go to the buyer or the buyer's agent, and we're going to present them with other things that they should consider doing to enhance or improve the value of the property, the insurability of the property, what they pay for homeowners insurance, that kind of thing.
And the longevity of the roof system.
And so we go to them and we show them, say someone has landmark AR, not IR, a class 3 landmark roof from Certainty. That's what the insurance company's paying for. There's nothing, the claim is right, everything's the way it's supposed to be. We go to the buyer and explain to them that for X amount of money you could upgrade to a Northgate class 4, or you might even want to look with the style of your home, you might even want to look at a Belmont or another type of shingle at an additional cost. Okay, we also talk to them about things like energy queue. All right.
Ventilation.
And, well, the ventilation is going to be addressed in the insurance claim to where it's done correctly, so they're not going to have to. But
and this is a situation where the roof is going to need to be replaced as part of the sale.
That's correct. And now that can work one of two different ways. It can be done before the sale. Okay, and then we actually get our check from the title company at closing, and we get a check from the buyer for any of their elective upgrades. If they wanted to upgrade to a Belmont roof, they pay for that. If they wanted to add energy queue, they pay for that. If they wanted to add sky, whatever it is,
right,
they pay for that. So in that scenario, everyone gets exactly what they should get.
Right.
The buyer gets exactly the seller gets exactly what he was entitled to from the insurance company. He's still responsible for his deductible or any non-recoverable depreciation. The buyer gets a brand new roof and elective upgrades that they selected and paid for out of their pocket. That's the only way I can paint that picture that is a win-win-win. If you do it where it's buyer versus seller, somebody's going to lose.
Right. I refer to those kinds, not necessarily the buying and selling, but the upgrading as the might as well. Since we're replacing the roof, we might as well put the energy queue on. We might as well go with the impact resistant.
From a buyer standpoint on a real estate transaction, if you're getting, quote unquote, you're getting a new roof, okay, and you have the ability for very few dollars to enhance the performance and
beauty,
get an insurance discount,
and the
enhance
longevity,
the beauty, enhance the energy efficiency. I don't know. I just don't know why you wouldn't do that at that point in time.
All right,
No-brainer.
Quickly, I got to say, the lawyer tells me S&CM LLC, doing business as McRoof.US, legally operates under Oklahoma registration number 80000002, and that the registration applies to both residential and commercial roofing. All right, so he hasn't started the music yet. We did, thanks to Benny, answer the trivia question, and we even got the bonus answer in there that the significance of a desk adjuster in the claims process is not very much.
In most cases.
Yeah. And more next week about the solar shingle. I can't wait to hear about that. Okay, gentlemen, Dad's Wisdom brought to you by Energy Q.
You can easily help those who don't know something but would like to. Those who don't care to know run far and run fast. That's the difference in being an ignorant versus an ignoramus. Don't be an ignoramus.
And as Will Rogers said, everyone's ignorant just about different stuff.
That's right.
This has been McRoof Talks Insurance on KOKC. We will be back next week. Scott McCollum, Scotty McCollum, I'm Rick Allen Lippert, Eric Yandel, the running man, will all be here. We'll see you then. Have a great week.
KOKC, Oklahoma City.
The Tyler Media Station.